For coming out today to TMCT. Okay, I just had to make sure I got the acronym right. First and foremost, though, we would definitely like to bring up Ms. Thomasina Yearwood, the president of TMCT, for allowing us to have the event here. So let's clap it up for her as she comes up front. Let me say a few words. Yes.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
It is an honor and a privilege to have this event here tonight at the Thurgood Marshall Center for Service and Heritage, a historic landmark building. And Thurgood Marshall actually mentored young men here and authored portions of Brown versus the Board of Education. With this being Domestic Violence Month, we felt it was very important from the standpoint of our social justice program that we host an event that could reach out to the community. And all of the people that are involved here tonight, thank you for coming. I know that the audience here will have a great program, and we all will have many emotional reactions to this event tonight. So thank you, welcome, and please feel free to tour the building.
Okay, everybody, let's give her one more round of applause, please. For those of you that do not know, you are here for the first annual Boldness monologues. These monologues are silent, so please keep in mind that there will be actually no speaking. The domestic violence portion is silent. The strength of the program will actually have some form of actual singing or a poem. Now, Queen Afid, which is the owner of Domestic Violence Squares in Tangs, thought this would be a tremendous way to, one, give back to the community, give women a voice that does not have a voice, and as well as it's different because this is actually drama therapy. As we know, over 1 million women actually are victims of domestic violence or abusers within domestic violence. Tonight you will see 3 different monologues, one of which is an abuser, 2 of which are survivors. All 3 of them are women. And we're going to have some beautiful singing along with that, as well as poetry. And at the end of the event, you guys will be able to ask questions, voice your opinions. Now, this is a no judgment zone. You can't judge the half black toenail polish that I have on my toenails, and you cannot judge the actual monologues, okay? So we got to keep an open mind and an open heart. We all have stories, we all have a journey. These women are brave enough to share their own, so please, please, please keep that in mind. And again, you will be able to ask questions towards the end of the event. Now, our first event is called From One Daddy to Another. Most women, me included, we all are definitely looking for our fathers when we think of different partners. This particular monologue, she found a gentleman that was similar to her dad, and what you're getting ready to see is her experience, which she's actually fresh out of. So this just happened a couple of years ago. So please keep that in mind, okay? We're going to get started now. From one daddy to the next. Growing up, materials was everything. Daddy worked 2 jobs. We had 2 cars, a boat, 5-bedroom house with thousands of dollars stashed in it. What in the world happened to me? A struggling young mother, dependent on this joker, Wanting to be independent, but daddy made me weaken. Settling for less for a come up. Boyfriend acting crazy. Man, I'm tired of this. I'm tired of his cheating behind and everything that comes along with it. This pain has resigned inside, but money in my pocket is keeping me alive. This must remain, but enduring this pain is driving me insane.
How do I stop these tears? How did we get here? Especially with all the things that you've done. We're supposed to be happy now, 'cause you've come around. But I can't get these past memories out of my head. Your actions say you love me, but your face to me is ugly, 'cause I still see this monster in my head. The truth you speak still sound like lies, and I feel alone when you're by my side. Just wanna walk away from you, how you left me. I want you to feel me. I want you to feel my pain. I want you to cry all the time, feel like your best friend died and you're all alone. I want you to know me. I want you to know my pain. I want you to hurt all the time, even when you smile, feel like it never ends. Thought having you I'd be complete. I thought this pain I feel would cease, but all this hurt is turned into anger. God, what's come over me? I wanna see what you see, how we can be a family. But all I wanna do is put you what I've been through for these past 5 years. Your actions say you love me, but your face to me is ugly, 'cause I still see this monster in my head. The truth you speak still sound like lies, and I feel alone when you're by my side. you to feel me. I want you to feel my pain. I want you to know me. I want you to know my pain. I want you to hurt all the time, even when you smile. Feel like it never ends. I want you to feel me.
I think we all can do better than that. Let's clap it up for her. Again, the name of that monologue is From One Day to the Next. Now, domestic violence wears many tags, educates community members, whether it's inside of shelters or events just like this, to let you know the many tags of domestic violence. So let's all be truthful. How many of you knew that financial abuse existed as far as domestic violence? Okay, so y'all smart, because I didn't. When I didn't know this actually until we started rehearsing for the monologues, because I was confused in the beginning about exactly what her monologue was, and then Queen broke it down in regards to how you can financially abuse your situation or how someone can financially control you within a relationship. So that's very interesting. We have another monologue, and I want you guys to guess which tag this particular monologue is going to be. And then we're going to bring up the last monologue, which again is the abuser. So we always hear about the victims, their struggles, their pains, but we don't also hear from the actual abuser. So again, at the end, you guys will be able to ask the ladies questions in more detail, and I will allow them to be able to express their needs. This particular monologue, I really need you guys to pay attention to. I know I have a teenage daughter, and teenagers these days are a lot different than I think we all were. Whether you're 30, 32, 35, they're just different. So to see someone actually experience this is like heartfelt within itself, okay? This one is called Another Day, Another Dollar. Okay, she's going to get set up and we're going to start. My name is Shaniqua, aka me. I am 14 years old. Again, I am 14 years old. Working to prove points, easy money, 9 to 5s, knowing that it has to stop, but I'm too good. The best out here in these streets, actually. My seductive eyes and sensual voice. You gotta be crazy not to pay for what I offer. Yeah, I know what you're thinking. Where are her parents? What about God? Well, all I can say is God made these men that hurt me. And these suckers that pay me. Shoot, he even made the men with the money, so who cares about anybody's feelings? They love me and can't get enough. If I die playing this game, so what? I'm winning.
all the way, push, 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 every day, push, 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 push away. Second verse. You think your games are funny. Well, they are not to me. I think you need to chill. And baby, while you're at it, you need to get real. So I push away all the way, every day. Push away all the way, every day. Push away, oh, 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 yeah, oh, oh, yeah, oh, yeah, oh, yeah, oh. Now that I'm pushing you away, I feel that I am so happy just to have you out of my life. Everything feels so right. So pushing you so far away. You think I owe you, but I don't. I know you owe me, but you won't. All the games that you play, baby, let me say, they're not funny. So I push away.
Could you imagine 14 years old actually going through something like this? I would definitely like to acknowledge that her mother is here, and she may speak when everybody else speaks, but she didn't know anything that was going on. She had no idea what was going on, and I like to acknowledge that because a lot of the times, especially when you don't have children, we always look at children and want to say how bad they are and where are their parents. But if the parents are not aware of it, some kids are very good at hiding things or masking them to look like something else. You know, she comes from a loving home and they didn't know. So we all just have to acknowledge that and talk to our children as much as possible. Whether they're actually expressing it, it's probably just best to speak to them, whether they're listening to you or not at this point. So it's one thing as I learned as a mom, they listen even when you think that they're not listening. We are getting ready to bring up our last monologue, but I just want to ask the audience, what domestic violence tag do you think that was? You guys can speak. Okay.
That's a sexual abuse.
Yes. Yeah. So it's definitely sexual abuse. And when Queen of Feet comes up, again, she's going to break down all 6 of the tags, because there's actually 6 of them. You have sexual, emotional, physical, verbal, financial, and spiritual. And at our original event, people were really interested in what is a spiritual abuse. And it's not what you think, it's not all about church in the aspect. So again, when she comes up at the end, you guys can ask questions. You can ask each individual monologue. Any questions, you know, how did you start this at 14, or the financial abuse, how long did it go on? Any questions that you have or concerns, okay? So we're gonna bring up our last monologue now. And I'm gonna go in the back again to our final monologue, tap, tap, click. I've been controlling even before he came into the picture. Shoot, by the time I met him, he was victim number 8. I was exercising my control with him from day 1. But my controlling, isolation, verbal abuse, threatening violence, and breaking or striking of my victim's objects were now at an all-time high. Him and I would fight, you know, what couples do. But this particular winter night was different. I whispered to myself while he laid next to me sleep. You like to disobey me? Well, think again.
Let me guess. You think I was crying because of the pain that I caused? Inside you think, she must be dying for being broken and lost. Yeah. This is her reclining from soft and keep it real. I was crying because that gun didn't go off. See, I was tapping on his head. For him to open his eyes, so once he was just low from his high, I had chilling surprise death. Yes, I wanted him dead, so I put that leg to his head. Ooh, he was lucky I was busting blanks instead. How did I get to this point? Cold-hearted suicide. How did I allow myself to become so emotionless and determined to kill my son's father? At the drop of a dime, but understand, folks, it was learned behavior over a matter of time. See, around 14 and 15, I had aggressive tendencies. It was a kill if he killed the meaning was something that lived with me. And this was a family rule. So we were all the same. We all had their reputation to be in, off the chain, no tap into our kindness, unveil us from our blinded circumstances, confine us, restricting us from open minds to see my son's father. Shit, he was no sucker. We go toe to toe, blow for blow, just to see which one was tougher. And that night, that fight, sparked the flame that would ignite my downward spiral to my lowest point, where I woke up to blue lights one night. In Congress Heights, I took a ride to the east side, drunk as hell, swerving lanes in my zone on my buzz riding my high. I must have been on a bus ride or a school trip in my cool whip. Let me get one more, no wait. 2 sips of this liquor till I'm numb. I cannot feel my lips to tapping on my window from the police's gun, accompanied by blue lights as bright as the sun woke me up to a sight that shocked me. I was stunned to see in the back seat of my car was my son. I was done. 4 to 5 charges. Reckless endangerment. From that moment, I knew something needed to quit. I tried to kill my son's father. I felt no remorse. I played the victim. It's his fault my life was off course. Now I almost killed my son. Who do I have left to blame? And from that moment, moving forward, I knew something had to change, and that was an education. So I tapped into my knowledge. I hit the books, got my BA in criminal justice. Whew, I was hooked. Got my MA in mental health. That's all it took to realize that my crazy wasn't as crazy as it looked. Was able to put terminology to my issues and connect the dots. Was able to work through my problems, but that's not where it stopped. Discovered that there's hundreds, thousands, millions just like me, suffocate from domestic violence and need to breathe. Black face, black story, white education. I had a voice to tap into my community and let them know they have a choice. It's not you. It's not your fault. Domestic violence is learned behavior, and you shouldn't depend on self-medication to be your savior. And PTSD, that's an issue that is major. And depending on pharmaceuticals is making a huge wager. And the main point that I try to drive domestic violence where as many tags. Oh so many that can literally count them off with one hand. Sexual, financial, emotional, verbal, physical. And even in some cases it can be spiritual. And it's not just women. Men hurt too. I used to take but also inflict the abuse, but once I woke up, cut out all the reasons. Held myself accountable. Tap into my consciousness. Search for all the answers. Discover where the knowledge is. It's the day that I dedicated my life to fighting war against all domestic violences.
Okay, y'all know I need a little better than that. Let's give them another round of applause. Okay, this is the conclusion of our monologue piece. And as you see, men are abused just as much as women are. Domestic Violence Wears Many Tags also has a segment of her work called Men Hurt Too. And again, Queen Afee can answer all of your questions, which I'm sure you guys have many. Did you guys enjoy the monologues?
Yes.
Okay. Was the silence more powerful or more confusing?
More powerful.
Okay. Okay, good. We're going to give everybody, let's clap everybody back in. Ladies, gentlemen. Okay, again, we have our first monologue from one daddy to the next. And Dwayne was just in all of the monologues, so let's give him a round of applause. Our second monologue, we have Another Day, Another Dollar. Make sure you give her a round of applause. Last but not least, Tap Tap Click. We gotta give them a round of applause. We're going to allow the ladies to summarize the actual monologues, and then after the last one, any questions, please ask. There's no wrong questions.
Hello everyone, my name is Beautiful Believer, and as you already know, my monologue was named One Daddy to the Next. I come from a two-parent household, and my parents were divorced, however they both had money. And I was basically given any and everything that I wanted except for love and affection. As I started to grow older, I was a young mother, single mother at that, and I had my two children, and I felt like I couldn't make ends meet. So I depended on a man to help make ends meet due to my reliance on my father and how he raised me materialistic-wise. My boldness, I would definitely have to say, was the fact that I just no longer wanted to be dependent anymore on anyone or anything. I really strive for independence, and basically that's where I am in my life right now. I do have housing for my children. I am working. I've been for a very, very long time, so I can get myself together. And I just want to thank you all for coming out.
I am neat. I am, what's it called? One dollar a day, another day, another, goodness gracious, the days. You got it, sorry. Basically, my monologue was about, when I was 14, I didn't know what I was supposed to do because at the age of 13, a boy who was my age molested me, and I didn't know like what I was supposed to do, because I couldn't tell anybody or nothing, and so I decided to sell my body, and yeah. And also because everybody else was doing it, like, I thought that it was the right way, and it wasn't, so, yeah.
And your boldness is?
My boldness is, yes. And I think that's it. I wrote a song, I sung it, and yeah.
My monologue was titled Tap Tap Quick. I titled that monologue for a part of my story that really did happen. And I wanted to demonstrate the abuser side. You always talk about the victim side, but nobody really knows what's in the mind of that abuser, be it woman or man. Nobody is really saying that they are the female abusers except me right now. But I try to, with my monologue, open it up, make it visual for women and teenage girls to chime into that. Because certainly behind closed doors, these things could be happening. It could be the woman who's the aggressor in the relationship. So I wanted to definitely show that through my monologue. Nothing that we did here today was exaggerated. Everything was our own stories. So what you're seeing here today is not a play. It is expression through drama therapy today. Okay? So these are real survivors, real victims, real abusers that are coming out to share their stories. Normally it would be a play, but this is not, it's not a play, it's not funny, it's not fake, it's real. And it takes a lot for us to come up and just be open and share a demonstration. You can go to places and hear survivors talk all day, but do you get movement? Do you get visual? Do they put you back in that spot? And that's what you got here today, where you're back in that space with us. And it's not an easy space to go. It's certainly not to do movement and me having this gun, because I really did have a gun. So, putting you back in that space, literally where I was during this time in my life. So you got many of the tags here today. You got financial abuse, you got verbal abuse, you got physical abuse, of course you got emotional abuse, and then you got sexual abuse. So you have all the tags here that domestic violence wears. You got a picture of all of that through our stories. There's 3 monologues today. We normally travel with 5 monologues. So 2 of our monologues couldn't make it here today. So what you saw here today was really us. Okay? I want to get that through your skull tonight. And the vision was clear when I got it. We worked on this for a whole year, and now we're putting it together to bring it to the Washington, D.C. area, because they're not familiar with this piece here. So I want to just open up some doors and tap into this conversation another kind of way. Okay? Any questions or comments?
Yes, I would like to ask each of you a question, if you don't mind. Beautiful believer, what was your turning point? What woke you up to realize, like, this is enough? Like, I want to be independent. I'm looking for a daddy anymore.
My turning point was really when I no longer wanted to be with him. And that took months for me to really realize, oh, thank you. That took me months to really realize, am I going to actually be okay to leave him and be able to stand on my own? I really had a lot of fear that if I left him, how was I going to survive? How was my children going to survive? But it was to the point where I couldn't even look at him anymore. As you can see in the monologue about how I was even reluctant to even call him on the phone. I didn't want to sleep with him anymore. I didn't want to talk to him. I didn't want to be around him. I didn't even want to smell him. And when it got to that point where it actually made me want to
vomit being around him, I knew I had to go. You know, it's just really that thing about stepping out on faith, regardless of what happens. I knew that I had to leave that situation.
Thank you. You're welcome. That traumatic follows you. You know, you just evolve, you grow, but it follows you. Have you ever received any type of help with your sexual abuse?
That happened, I started to turn to cutting myself and stuff because I didn't know, like I'm saying, like I didn't know what I was supposed to do and stuff. I couldn't tell my mom, I couldn't tell my daddy, of course not. And yeah, and I just felt like I was in it alone and stuff. And so all of a sudden, when I find Queen of Feet, well, she found me, we're like inseparable. And yes, I guess that's my help. I'm 27 now, so it took a long time. Yeah, that's great.
Yes.
Answer the question?
Yeah, you did.
Okay.
So you had your help standing next to you. Great. I'm glad you got help.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Me too.
Yeah, she did confide in me in some stuff. So I didn't know about the selling until this play came out. But I didn't
This
know
is
about
not a play, this is
Yeah,
not a play.
yeah, no, excuse me, doing the monologue. I didn't know about that part. But most of the, she used to tell me everything, but, you know, we talked, but she didn't tell me about that part. So,
Thank you.
Can I ask you a question? Can I
No, keep it up.
Okay, I'm sorry. Okay.
you can tell me.
Okay. With you, that was wild to see that you almost killed your baby father for real, you know? And what, how can I explain it? How can I say it? What, not just the turning point in your life, but what grabbed a hold of you to say, I want to change the world. I want to show the world that women are abusers. I want people to know my story. What in your mind changed for you to want to flip your pain and make it for purpose?
Mm-hmm. Women can be abusers too. And I like to say two types of abusers. One is the victim who's fighting to get back what was taken from her. Years and years of abuse that could have started childhood all the way up until whenever. But now she's demonstrating abusive behavior, okay? And then the second one is me, the one who made conscious decision that I'm going to abuse men. And I made that conscious decision to do that, and as time went on, I got better at doing it. So I was curious to know, what was this led by like? You know, is it the same thing that men do? You know, is it the same way that they act? And it is. The behavior does not change. Just the person changes. Okay? So I had to tell it. I have to tell it. Because America got it all wrong. So we gotta talk about this conversation, and then not to mention going into the school systems and meeting with young girls. They're aggressive just like me. So the next thing, you plan on them going up Marlboro like I did. So I must identify with them. Now is the time to do it. Thank you.
I wasn't as assertive as I am now. I was like, you know, kind of like, you know, like if I don't tell nobody, then like it's gonna brush off, like, you know, that's what I thought, but apparently not. And yeah.
Because it follows you, like she said.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you not want to tell, or?
Like I thought, like with everything that's happened to me in life, period, like I thought, you know, oh well, maybe this is the type of thing that, you know, being a big girl, you know, yeah, that's how you get friends and stuff. Like you do this, and then all of a sudden, yeah, you're like Miss Popular or whatever. But I did not realize that I was already popular because I'm Shaniqua. But yeah, nobody wanted to like make that noticeable to me like that, except for my parents, of course. But yeah, in a good way. Oh, so sorry. Oh, good. I just laughed everything off. But now I know that's a serious situation. It's very, very serious, and could have went another way. God, it did not.
We got another question back there.
Good evening, my name is Carolyn Faisal, and I'm an advocacy on domestic violence and military sexual trauma, which is a new law for us veterans, and I'm having a son in jail. But however, I want to ask you, Queen P, explain what's the difference between emotional and spiritual abuse.
Okay, as an abuser, our job is to, it's a job, it's a task, it's something that we get really good at doing. It's controlling your day-to-day feeling. So, up, down, whether you're going to cry today, whether you will laugh today, it's all of that is in the palm of my hand emotionally. So I determine all of that for you. When you say spiritual abuse, it's through my research, it's just not a tag linked to the household. Okay, spiritual abuse comes from a spiritual act and a spiritual environment. Okay, now in terms of the abuser's behavior, could be blocking you from God or blocking you from going to church or throwing your Bible and saying, you ain't going to no church tonight. We do that because it's going to help you get better. If you get your nails done, if you out here tonight at this summit, we're going to be upset because it's going to help you get better. Okay? So anything that's going to help you do better, the abuse is going to sabotage that. That's what we do. Because you need to stay where you are. You need to continue that I'm controlling you. Right? Now you can pray. Because when I had the gun to my baby father's head, I was praying that the gun go off. I don't know why he's still living. See, so you can certainly pray. The abuser does not have to know that. Your relationship with your higher power is personal anyway. But you don't want to pull your Bible out in front of your abuser because it's going to get you beat up. Because you're trying to better yourself. That's going to cause you to leave, and I can't have that. So whatever you do that's going to cause you to leave, I can't have you do that. I'm going to sabotage that. So, did I answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Any other questions or comments? One more, we have one more. And then we got to go.
Would you agree with me, you don't have to, that slavery, the result of domestic violence is residue from slavery, the different tags?
It could be. It could be. No child is born into the world to beat themselves, this way. So, given that time, history, there may have been some behaviors there that we picked up, as a culture, and we've made it our own, they did, in that time they would do it out in the open. Now we do it behind closed doors, which makes it way more severe. Okay? If you're getting beat out in the open, somebody can help. But if you're going in the house and you're closing the door, we don't really know nothing's going on unless you're going to say something when you end up dead. So it's really severe. There could have been some traits there. Yes, I wouldn't say it wasn't. Yes, ma'am.
As a mother with daughters, what would be your advice to our daughters? What do we tell them to their friends? And how do we have these conversations when we hear the stories, or even if we don't? How can we advise our children?
Yeah, children, parents, you got to get to that dinner table and be as transparent as you need to be. Because a lot of parents, you have stories already.
Wait, can you explain what that means? The dinner table talk?
Yes. Well, the dinner table talk is something that I like to say that it starts with conversation. It starts with everybody getting around that table and putting your phones up, and everybody comes to the table. Let's talk. A lot of things we can resolve with talking. The dinner table just adds comfort to that. It makes us cozy to talk, to sit down and be assertive in that conversation. And really be open. I think mom and dad, parents should lead this conversation. And I think that you should lead it with a emotional pain word. So one of those words could be fear, right? So you open it up with fear. You know, let's talk about the word fear today. And I'm going to share, you know, some things that I feared in my life when I was coming up. See, so you get the children to identify with the word. You get the children to identify with the feeling based off your story. Because the behavior doesn't change. They will see what you're talking about again. But will they know what to do with it? Now, let me find out as the abuser. I know when you've been talking to your children and you haven't been. I know when you've been talking to your children and you have not been talking to your children. Because they're so ready to come with me. I'm really clever. I listen for if parents are teaching their children about fear, about being ashamed, about being depressed, about suicide, about, yeah, I shot a gun off. I listen to whether or not they have a good support system at home. If they don't have that, then it's going to be me. It'll be me. And it's going to be nothing. It may take you years to try to do something about it. It may take you as a parent years to try to do something about your daughter or your son coming with me. And some of them die out. They don't ever make it back home to you. Right? I ain't to bust your bubble, but I must tell the truth. Okay? Any last questions or comments? One more.
Physical abuse, it's easy. Somebody slaps you and kicks you and things like that. But an emotional abuse, I think it's harder for some people to recognize that there are an emotional abuse relationship. So how do you, from your knowledge and from being an abuser yourself, if you like to share how would you advise people to recognize that, you know?
It's silent. You know, it's silent. It doesn't have any visible marks to it. Some victims I don't have to hit them. I can just have words. I can have movement. I can threaten. Right then and there, I'm controlling your emotions because now you're walking around like that. That's one of the prime ways to tell. If you're being emotionally abused, you tiptoeing. You put your children to bed before I get in there. If I come in there. See, it's silent is where you're already positioned and I don't really have to hit you. I don't have to lay hands on you. You're going to do what I want you to do, when I want you to do it, and I want you to do it. You're going to answer that phone. When I'm calling, and I might be always somewhere, or I could be around the corner. And I'm timing how long you're going to answer that, how long it's going to take you to answer that phone. Because I'm expecting you to pick it up on the first ring. Right? You're picking it up on the first ring. You're a good victim. You're obedient. That's me emotionally controlling you. I don't have to touch you at all. I can look at you and you're going to straighten up. See, and I can do this in front of your parents. So you know that's the problem. If I can have you tiptoeing around your parents and your family, oh, man, that's emotional abuse at its best. For me or for somebody else? For me.
This actually, I really want to know how to put this in a question form because it's almost like a general statement, but just kind of get your feedback on it.
Mm-hmm.
How do you address, or how do we address abuse when it starts in the home or with our children? Because we have a lot of parents who are abusers. So not thinking of relationships or not thinking of a boyfriend and girlfriend and stuff like that, but family. When the abuse starts at home, because just in the headlines and in a personal story to me, my best friend, and you know, he's an older guy, he's like in his 50s, but he called me last week saying that his brother has a daughter. Mm-hmm. Okay, so he's my friend is 50, his brother's probably about 35, mm-hmm. But he had his daughter really young, so his daughter's like 17. So she just had a child, 9 months old, her and her mother were getting into it constantly, repeatedly. The baby's father is no longer in the situation. Again, she's 17. She's from house to car to motels, everything. She decides to kill her 9-month baby because she felt she had no other option. She had nowhere to raise him properly. She could barely feed him. She couldn't change his diapers. He would go days in the same diaper. And you know, it's disheartening because a lot of that happens in our community. It happens in every community, but a lot of it happens in our community. And we're reading it and we're seeing it in the headlines, we're seeing it on the news. Just like the couple who, I think they buried their child, or not so long ago. So what do we do, or how do we?
You have to have the conversation. They act like they do not identify with the behavior that their children are demonstrating. The other thing is, and I'm gonna go there, is that, you know, we think marijuana manages emotional pain. It does not manage emotional pain. It does not. It seeps you more into a depression. It will make you kill at the end of the day. Kill yourself, kill your baby, kill your family, everybody in there. You see what I mean? So we got to be having this conversation. Parents have got to let down there, I'm a perfect mom or I'm a perfect dad. I've never been through that status. You got to be done with that. This is not because you're going to meet me. You're going to meet me if you do that. I will have your child. And you mark my words right now. I will have your child if you keep doing this. You have to get to that dinner table and be transparent and say, look, I came from a household where beatings was happening, or, you know, we have mental health issues in our family, so we got to talk about what we experienced. You know, I've been depressed. We got to identify what these marks are with our children, you know, and get them to understand feeling and not running away from, oh, somebody else. Nick did not speak because she felt a lot of shame. Shame will keep you locked up. Inside, you will not tell anybody. But if we'd have been having a dinner table conversation, Nick would have probably told that off the break. If you would have identified particular words with her: shame, guilt, fear, agony, disappointment. We must talk about these emotional pain words. Just like you talk about joy and hallelujah and going to church, you must talk about these pain words at your dinner table with your children, or else I will have your child. See what I mean? Because they will ultimately leave the household and come looking for me. Now there's a cycle where she has a baby with somebody who don't even want the baby, and she don't even want the baby. But they caught up into something because their household wasn't talking about nothing. That's why. We must talk about it as a family. If you let your child go out there and have not told them nothing about emotional pain, you dead wrong for that. And I will have your child. It's just that simple. Sorry. It's just that real. And the abuser can be a woman, it could be a man, it could be your mother, it could be your father, it could be your sister, it could be your brother. One last comment, we gotta go.
Sorry.
Comment or question?
Since you have a son, how do you isolate the abuser from your son seeing that? Or does your son see that?
See the abuser side?
Yes.
My son knows that I was going to kill his dad. So he knows that, you know, my story is very real and I'm transparent about what I talk to him about. I don't abuse anyone today. I don't attempt to put a gun to anyone.
How do you move forward to tell your son that?
Absolutely, absolutely. I had to tell him. Because my life couldn't go on if I didn't tell him that. I would be fake. And again, he would be looking for love in all the wrong places because I'm not transparent. So I have to be transparent as I can be and let him know, even though he was only 2 months when this was taking place, right? I still could not live right without letting him know what I did, what I wanted to do, what I think should have happened. It's not, oh, I'm sorry, I put the gun to your father, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do it. No, I meant to do it. I meant to kill your father. Now that's what you call transparency at its best. Okay, we gotta go. Clap it up. Thank you. All right, thank you.
name one last time?
Oh, I'm putting, Charity.
First name, give me 1 second. First name?
Charity Blackman. Queen of B.
I'm me.
Ebony.
Beautiful believer.
And I'm not a real abuser, so don't run up on me in the street. I'm Dwayne Thomas, I'm a professional actor, so thank you.
Pass your surveys back up, please, to this sister right here. My assistant, she's been following the monologue. Okay, and I'll tell you guys about domestic violence with me page. There should be a paper out there on the table where you can grab my brochure if you want. But of course, I'm on Facebook, I'm on Twitter, I'm on Instagram, I'm in the email box. I'm probably right around the corner from the house. If you want to call me up, come over and have this talk, I will. You know, I'm just about spreading this message. It's a different kind of talk when we talk about domestic violence. It's a different kind of talk. And it's real, it's raw, it's transparent. You saw that through these monologues. I don't sugarcoat what people are really going through at home. I'm not going to dress up messed up. Okay, we've been doing that and it is not saving us. We're still getting more victims. I can walk right out this door and grab me a victim right there on U Street if I want to. Victims turn over like nothing, running water. You must have this conversation. We must talk about this. If it's you, if it's happening to you, consult. Stop being scared to tell it. Stop being scared to tell it. When you have somebody as transparent as myself who's out here working, I'm somebody that you can talk to. And express yourself and get out. I'm going to identify. Stop being ashamed. Break that cycle for your dinner table. Break that cycle for your household. If your mother went through it, don't you go through it. Don't let your children go through it. Don't let them babies go, because you're just bringing more victims and abusers. That's all you're doing. You're recycling something that we're trying to help you break. Right? So ask your questions. I like to do a classroom style. I teach in a classroom setting. Okay? I don't teach in a circle and tell you a story. That's not working. People need education. Awareness is not working. Education breaks the cycle. So when you learn and identify what's behind those tags, I guarantee you will feel something completely different about your situation. You will want to chime into your situation. Believe me what I'm telling you. Now follow me, QUEENAFI, Queen of Feet, on Facebook right now. So you can start doing your homework about the organization and everything that I'm trying to do with this dinner table conversation tonight. This is exactly what we had tonight. Dinner table conversation. Okay? Bless you and thank you for coming out. Peace and love, everybody. Thank you. Domestic violence wears many tags. Okay? And tell somebody that. All right? And go in peace and love.
Give everybody a round of applause again, ladies and gentlemen. We'd like to thank everybody for coming out. Make sure you get your pamphlets and sign up for the newsletter that's out at the table for more information, okay?
Give a hand to our host as well. She did a great job.